Robert Aliano. Come on in, Robert. Robert Aliano. Robert was a student of mine when he was a young boy, maybe 7, 8 years old. His mom and his brothers and sisters used to come take lessons from me. He was the captain of the Miller Place wrestling team when he went to high school. And then he graduated when he went to Quinnipiac University. During the course of his senior year at Quinnipiac, he went out one night partying with a bunch of his friends, and walking back to the dorm room was hit and struck by a car and left for dead. So that happened in November of 2008. Prior to that, I had a nephew who was in a horrific car accident in July 14, 2008. And today he still remains in a vegetative state. So it kind of makes my work with Robert, rewarding to the fact that maybe, hopefully one day my nephew could wake up and hopefully I could do something with him. It doesn't look too good right now, but there's always hope.
It was a hit and run, so we're assuming that person might have been drinking, and he went flying over a telephone pole 50 feet in the air, came right out of his work boots. He punctured both lungs. People don't survive with one punctured lung. And his friends, thank God, were there. They called 911 and they turned him over and they helped him, whatever they could do to keep him breathing until the paramedics came.
And we went down a hallway and a doctor was there, and he had blood on his, his gurney or whatever. And he said, I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Aliano. I did everything I could. I want you to go in, and say goodbye to your son. And I just couldn't, take that. And for some reason, I grabbed him by his collar. Don't ask me why. I just held on to him. And I said, Doc, I'm not gonna go say goodbye to him. You go in there, make believe it's your son, and then come back out when you tell me your son, you did the best you could.
They asked us if they should pull the plug or just stop feeding him. They told us to make funeral arrangements, to get a priest in, and we told them, no, we're not giving up.
So they took him down for the MRI. They came back up. They said, well, we have something to tell you. The main part of Robert's brain, the stem, is black. I said, well, that's the main area that controls the entire brain. And we could see it's black. Once it's black, that means it's dead. It's done. I looked at him and I said, Doc, are you 100% sure? You're 100% sure? He said, Mr. Aliano, if you want to put odds on it, we're 99% sure? I said, good. That's 1%. I like that. I'm gonna take that.
Hands up, get your hands up, go. Come on. Come on, push, push, hold it, push, push.
And then one day, they were able to stand him up a little bit. He had two people were holding on to him, but it showed that he wasn't paralyzed.
We converted my nice garage into a therapist place, and I think that helped a lot too. And then one day I was taking him to a speech pathologist out in Southampton, and then he was doing his physical therapy in Selden, but on the way we had an hour to kill. And I seen the karate sign, and I says, Robert, I said, Jerry, your old karate teacher called you on those dramatic first days, and I never really called him back. I says, let's stop in and say hello.
San, shi, go, ni, wei, san, wei, shi, wei, ku, wei, ju. I was looking out the window, and I saw a truck pull up. And I was here with my partner at the time. And I saw Nick Aliano get out of his truck, walk around to the back, get a wheelchair, open up the passenger side door, and place his son in the wheelchair. And he actually wheeled him into the dojo here. He asked me at that time, is there anything that I would be able to do with him, martial art related? And of course I wasn't going to tell him no, because, and him not knowing the state of my nephew, I wouldn't turn him down. And what I would do is place my hand on the arm that was severely damaged, and I would try to have him push his hand away from the body. And I would do this exercises with him time and time again, and eventually I noticed that the range of motion started to increase, and the hand was actually traveling further away from the body. So not only did I apply that to the arms, I started to apply it to his knees. Left hand, all right? So always outside, always out. Keep the hand up. Always outside. Back of hand, good. That's it. Try to keep that right hand open, Robert. The first days when he was, struggling to mimic any movement I was doing. And I remember him leaving here and me running into my back room and just shutting the door, crying my eyes out because I have my nephew. I have my nephew in a condition. This is hard. Because I know my nephew's in a condition where he may never be able to achieve what Robert did just walking across the floor. This story here is not to bring you down, but to inspire you to plant some seeds that the choices that we make in life sometimes take the wrong turn.
Robert was an All-American. He did every sport. This is Robert up here. He's third child out of 6. And these are some of his college roommates. That was a picture of Robert in the hospital. He was hooked up to every machine. This is when he first opened his eyes.
Do you remember anything from that night?
Well, I remember before when I was drinking.
So basically what it was a bad decision. Well, like most college students, high school students, they get involved with drugs and alcohol. And Robert's lucky to be alive. So he's been given a second chance. So now our mission has been to tell this story, to make boys and girls aware of the consequences, to really plant the seed, because it's important when they're on their own, making good decisions. It's what's going to keep them safe.
All teenagers, we all think we're invincible, but we're really not, and he's perfect proof of that anything can happen at any moment. So I feel like that really made an impact on me.
Just to be able to be in such a vulnerable place and put something so personal out there, it truly is inspiring, and he has a great indomitable spirit to be able to do something like that, to put out, hey, I messed up, but this is how I rose again.
Jodanuke, H, knee. Visualizing, trying to get to the other one, so he would jump.
You give me hope.
And you give me hope.
No. You.
It works two ways. That's what teaching is. You learn from your students.
The memories are, they're right there. You remember every detail, and it's just like the worst time in your life when you don't know when your son is gonna survive, or if he does survive, if he'll ever walk or talk or be your son again.